Hey guys, it has been a while since we did a video on the van, and part of the reason for that was Christmas, New Year, and also the van getting sent off to get its colour change. Now, we ended up going with that Mercedes blue grey, which I am super happy with, and I wanted to show you this. So let's talk paint. Firstly, we did not pay normal car prices to get this sprayed. If we had done, we would have been looking at in excess of £5,000, absolute rock bottom end. In fact, I think for something like this, we would have probably been looking at more like £7,000. Let me know in the comments if you're a sprayer. We approached a company that was a commercial sprayer. So they do things like lorries, skips, industrial stuff where maybe they don't worry so much about the finish and more about just churning out a lot of quantity for maybe haulage companies and things like that. So because of that, we were able to get a very good price, and also because of the fact we're currently going through different versions of lockdown, the sprayer didn't have quite as much work as he would have usually liked. Now, when I approached Andy and told him about my colour combo, he thought that we were maybe going to be trying to, it would look like we were trying to hide rust problems, purely because we've gone for a Raptor on the bottom end of this van. All of the black that you see, all of the plastic trim, and also all the metal work that runs along the side has been sprayed in something that we call a bed liner. Now, the great thing about a bed liner is it's super hard wearing. You can thin it down. So we used about 15% thinners to get a slightly smoother finish, but it is generally a rough textured finish on this sort of paint. It's generally used in bed liners. So in the backs of trucks, when you're throwing all your gear in there, this is what's sprayed down to prevent damage to your metalwork. However, with that kind of diluted look, it has come up looking so good. Just to give you a bit more of a close-up, I know it's raining so it's a bit hard to see, but once you get the right spray thickness of your Raptor, so this is something that you kind of figure out by playing around with the amount of thinner that you put into it, and also how much PSI you've got your gun set at. I'm not an expert at all. This is just something I discussed with my sprayer when we were talking about what kind of finish that we wanted to get. And by doing that, we've almost got these bumpers to look exactly like they would have done out of factory, but we've now managed to match all of the sides of the van in the same, and I know this stuff is absolutely bomb-proof. Before we carry on the next episode, we're going to be building a draw system just to mount up all of our mountain bikes, adventure equipment, paddle boards, and it's going to be a great way to take the strain off your back rather than leaning into your van to pull everything out of it. Can't wait to show you that, but let's crack on with this. Our main paint is something called a 2-pack, which is really old school and you can't get cars done in it anymore. What this means is with a standard process for spraying a car, you generally go with a base, then your colour, then a clear coat over the top, and multiple layers of each with sanding in between. This kind of harks back to almost the same era in terms of paint as the colour itself from the 60s. So a 2-pack is a lot more hard wearing, but it's a solid colour. So rather than having different layers with a clear coat on top, this is one solid colour all the way through. The benefit to that is the fact that because we didn't pay a lot, and because in some places we've got a few paint runs and a few other issues that we need to sort out, when we buff those out, we don't have to worry about going through a top coat. We can literally polish, and however much we polish, we will polish colour the whole way through until obviously we hit the metalwork. But yeah, I mean, for me and for a van that's going to be used in some pretty harsh conditions, that makes a lot more sense to get a van sprayed in this sort of paint, if you can find someone to do it. Now, one thing I would say is really important to get done when you are having your van sprayed is making sure that you get all your internals of your doors done. No one wants to open up a van and see a separate colour like a white on the interior here. It just looks really, really cheap. No matter how cheap your paint job is, you need to make sure that this is something that matches with the rest of that external colour. So the last time you saw these side pods, they were just that standard black. Were they black? No, they were grey. So these were grey, but they're fiberglass, and all we've done is colour code them with the paintwork as well, and I'm really, really happy with the way this looks. Now that we've got this van painted, the next step will be to add in a central window just here that we've been given by Van Pimps. However, with our middle window, it isn't going to be a real one. It's simply going to be for the look. So we're going to be putting on another black glass panel on here just to create a really nice line down the side of the van. I don't think I'll change the colour of the pod. We'll leave that in the Mercedes blue grey, but again, we just want to carry that through, and I think that'll look great. One of my favourite things about this colour is the way it really makes the red pop, and also the windows pop on the van. I just can't stop looking at this. Every time I park, I'll turn around and look back at this van. Now, we paid a whole £1,200 for this paint job, which is ridiculous. I could not believe how lucky I got and how nice the guy was that sprayed my van for me. There are people out there that will do you a favour, but a couple of tips I'd give you if you are approaching sprayers to get your van done: don't offer to help them. Don't niggle on price. Like that, these guys spend their entire lives doing this as a job, day in, day out, and it's a very, very, very skilled job to do. I would have paid more, honestly. I know I got a super, super lucky deal, so please don't take the price that I got as what you can go out and get a paint job on a van done for. One thing people talk about a lot is orange peel when they get their paint jobs done on the cheap. This is the way that your paint dries, and sometimes it creates an effect on your paintwork that looks a little bit like orange peel. However, I'm really happy to say that we've got barely any on the finish of this van. I honestly can't get over how good it has come out. What we will be doing is leaving it to dry for about another 3 to 4 weeks before we polish it, and then that'll give us our fully finished look on the paintwork. I can't wait. Ooh, well, I hope you've liked this video. I'm absolutely loving this build, and we're going to get back in the truck and go and get a coffee. I'll catch you guys next time, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye guys.